In this video, I'll show you how to solve trigonometric equations using identities. This is part 4 in the series. The question asks us to solve the equation sine squared x plus cosine x is equal to 1 for angles between 0 and 360 degrees. You'll notice that this equation contains three terms. This one, and this one. Sine squared x can be converted into cosine using the following identity. Remember that cosine squared x plus sine squared x is equal to 1. Bringing cosine squared x to the other side gives us 1 minus cosine squared x, and we can replace sine squared x with the right side here, giving us, rewriting this, 1 minus cosine squared x plus cosine x is equal to 1. Now we don't need these brackets around the first two terms, so I'll erase them. And notice that there's a positive 1 here and a positive 1 on the right side. That means they can cancel each other out, leaving us with negative cosine squared x plus cosine x is equal to 0. Our next move is to factor out a cosine from the first two terms. Notice that this term has two cosines and this one has 1. So factoring out a cosine x gives us negative cosine x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now we'll branch this out into two parts, where cosine x is equal to 0 and negative cosine x plus 1 is equal to 0. I'll focus on this part, and to understand when cosine x is equal to 0, of course you can use inverse cosine, but I want to explain it in a different way. Pretend that we have a Cartesian plane that looks like this, and I'm just going to extend this y-axis, where this refers to my angle x and this refers to my outputs, my ratios for cosine. Remember, cosine always starts at 1, makes its way down to 0, down to negative 1, back to 0, and then in 360 degrees goes back to 1. This tells me that cosine x is 0 here and here. Notice that y is equal to 0 at this point. And in the midway point is 180 degrees. Therefore, this has to be 90 degrees and this has to be 270 degrees. As a result, x will equal to 90 degrees and 270 degrees. Furthermore, if we solve for cosine here by moving this positive 1 to the left side, giving us negative cosine x is equal to negative 1, and then dividing both sides by negative 1, we get cosine is equal to 1. When is cosine equal to 1? Right here at 0 degrees and at 360 degrees. These four angles satisfies the restriction set at the beginning of the question where they wanted angles between 0 and 360 degrees. And there you have it. That is how to solve trigonometric equations using identities.